Hello and welcome to another session of Year 5 Maths. That's what we're doing. Year 5 Maths with me, Mrs. Furby, and we are on part 2 of learning how to round. So if you haven't done part 1, which was the last session, might be worth doing that session first before you do today's session, because today we're going to be rounding to the nearest 10,000 and 100,000. And you might want to go back and have a look at what we did before. But it's lovely to see you. I hope you're ready to go. I hope you're feeling good. And let's get going with this morning's, well, or today's roundup. So we've gone back to our robot today. Love our robot. I haven't got a name for him. Maybe you can name him. And today his first rule is about timesing by 10. So what happens when you put 9 in and you times it by 10? You get 90. Well done. What about 34? Times it by 10. You should be able to do this one in your head. 340. Well done. Or about 451. Think about your place value holders. Yep, 4,510. About 923. Same process, exactly. 9,230. 890. Let me know what you think. 8,900. Well done. Nice quick fire way of warming yourself up. Right, what about timesing by 100? What do you get if you times 5 by 100? Absolutely right, you get 500. What about 45? 4,500. 912? I'm getting into some big numbers now. 91,200. You can always write these down. You can always pause if you need to. What about 4,100? We will get brain work. 410,000. Yeah, all big numbers. About 4,512. 451,200. Well done. And 1,300? 130,000. That is absolutely right. Well done. Yeah, brain. It's hard to do those in your head sometimes. How could you check that? How could you check that? If I had 4,100 times 100, how could I check that? I'd probably put it in a place value grid if it was me. And I would probably put my, let's pick it up here, let's change my colour pen. Just to check that I'm happy with it. There we go. So I would probably put my, where's my pen gone? My ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, my 10,000, my 100,000. I put the initial number in first, which was 4,100. And I'd know that I've got to move it up 1, that's times it by 10, 2 times it by 100, so the 4 would end up here, and then 1, 0, 0, and then I've got to hold my place value, otherwise they'll all fall down. There we go. So times it by 100, 410,000. Right. Whew. Right, for this morning's or today's, I shouldn't assume it's the morning, for today's session, you might want to have your place value grid again that we were using for last session if you drew one, pencil or a pen and a piece of paper. Let's get going. Right, let's see if you can remember what we did last lesson. I want you to have a go at rounding these numbers to the nearest 10, and can you do it faster than I am? So I'm going to talk it through. Can you get there before me? It's a question. So don't forget, 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds up. So 345, where's my pen? 345. I know that I'm rounding to the nearest 10, so I'm going to look at this number, which means it's this one that's going to tell me 340, 350, 4, 5, 5 rounds up, so it's going to wrap up to 350. You've got it. 948. Okay, 948. Okay, again, I'm rounding to the nearest 10, so I'm going to circle my 10 number. Think about the whole special arrow at the top here, and it's going to be 940 or 950. It's an 8, so it rounds up, so it's going to round up to 950. And then we've got 12,043. Okay, again, rounding to the nearest 10, so there's my tens number, my special arrow. That's a 3. Thinking about just exactly the same as having this up here. I've just drawn it on there. So it's either going to be 12,040 or 12,050, and it's a 3, so it's going to round down to 12,040. Well done. I'm sure you got there quicker than I did. If not a problem. If that was a bit confusing and you can't remember what we did last lesson, go back and watch that video and remind yourself first. Okay, so we're now rounding to the nearest 10,000. So I've got my place value grid and I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000. So I've put my special circle, okay, and my arrow on the 10,000 because that's what I'm looking for. So 10,000, so it's going to be this one, the thousands that tells me whether I'm going to round up or round down. So I'm going to put my number in, 3, 2, 5, 4, 2, or 32,542. So my two options could be, so it's the nearest 10,000. So it's either going to be 30,000 or 40,000. So count up in 10,000s with me. We've got 0, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. So 30, 40,000. And I'm going to be looking at this digit here, which is a 2 or a 2,000, which is a 2 round up or a 2 round down. 2 rounds down, so it's going to round down to 30,000. Try another one. Okay, round this to the nearest 10,000. So let's put the number in. We've got 53,130. I'm going to be looking at this number here. So it's either going to be 50,000 or 60,000. And it's a 3,000 or a 3. Does 3 round up or does 3 round down? 3 rounds down. So we're going to round down to 50,000. What's next? Let's do another one together. Does it matter when the number gets bigger? No. 423,560. So again, I've got my special arrow, my special circle. I know what I'm looking for. It's this one that's going to be the one. So I've either got 420,000 or 430,000. Should we give it a go? We've got a 3 or 3,000. Does that round up or does that round down? 3 rounds down. Well done. So it would round down to 420,000. Right. Same process. Your go. Okay. Get your place value grid if you've drawn one. Get your special arrow in your circle that you can draw on yourself, and have a go at rounding those to the nearest 10,000. Pause the screen when you're done. Unfreeze. And we'll go through the answers. If you need to go back and look at the examples again, please do. Right, ready, steady, pause. Okay, here are the answers. So 85,310 rounds down to 85,000. 34,219 also rounds down to 34,000. 9,831 rounds up to 10,000. 122,893 rounds up to 123,000. 932,000 stays at 932,000, sneaky one in there. And 499,540 would round up to 500,000, okay, or 500,000. Okay, well done. Okay, same process when we're rounding to the nearest 100,000. It's exactly the same every single time. It's just which ones we look at. And we just need to make sure that all the digits afterwards become zeros. That's the other thing you have to check. So we've got 231,100. I've put it in my place value grid. I've moved my special circle and my arrow up so I know that I'm looking at this column. This is the one that affects me. So if I'm looking at 100,000, I'm either going to have 200,000 or 300,000. Okay. Now you'll notice that all the digits after here, these do not stay the same. Once we round it, they all become zeros because we're rounding to the whole number. We're making our life easier for ourselves so we can do our estimation skills. They become zeros. So does a 3 or a 30,000 round up or round down? So 3, it rounds down to 200,000. And by finding the two options, you probably, hopefully, won't make that mistake. I know it's quite easy when you try and do it in your head, or if you try and do it like that, to keep these digits the same. You don't need to, they need to become zeros. So if you find the two options, that'll happen automatically. Let's try another one. We've got 438,220. Okay, so we've got our thing. We're looking at this digit here. So it's either going to be 400,000 or 500,000. It's a 30,000 or a 3. Does 3 round up or does 3 round down? 3 rounds down, so we're going to round down to 400,000. Another one, okay? We have got 89,920. Now, does it matter that there's no number here? No, it doesn't, because that just means our first option is 0. 0 or 100,000. Now, this is an 8 in the 10,000s or an 80,000. Does 8 round up or does 8 round down? 8 rounds up. So we're going to round up to 100,000. Oh, 999,000. Let's see what happens with this one. Oh, that was about there. That zero's in that box. Okay, so we've got 900,000. What comes after 900,000? It's going to be 1 million. Oh, fabulous. So we've got a 9 here. Does 9 round up or does 9 round down? 90,000, 9. The 9 digit, it rounds up. So this one would round up to a million. Fabulous. Right. You'll go. Give it a go. Make sure you put your place value grid. Make sure you put your 100,000 and your 10 and your arrow in the right place. If that went a bit quick for you, absolutely fine. Pause it, go back, watch it again, ask for help if you need to. And when you're ready to see the answers, unpause the video again. Pause. Okay, so the answers to that. 429,000 when rounded to the nearest 100,000 rounds down to 400,000. 78,999 would round up to 100,000. 313,491 would round down to 300,000. 845,555 would round down to 800,000. 342,000 would round down to 300,000. And 999,450 would round up to a million. Well done for giving those a go. Let's see what's next. It's your challenge question. So for today's challenge question, you've been given the prices of 4 different houses and flats, expensive things. And we want you to round each price to the nearest 10,000 and the nearest 100,000. When you've done that, I want you to have a think about which is the most useful number. If you were to actually go and spend all this money on a house, would you want to round it to 10,000 or 100,000? See what the difference is and have a think about what you think. Pause the video when you're ready to go through the answers, unpause. Okay, let's go through the answers. So here are the answers. Pause the screen, you can check them. In answer to my other question, have a think about it. Which would you rather? Which is the most useful number? Okay, we're going to talk a lot more about this when we look at the next session, when we look at rounding in context. But often when it's to do with money, you want it to be as close to the actual value as possible. So that would mean rounded to like maybe the nearest 10,000. But if you round down with money, you end up not having enough money. So if something cost £85 and you rounded it to the nearest £10, oh no, let's go with 84. Something costs £83, okay? £83, right? Let's put that there. If I rounded that to the nearest £10, I'd get £80. If I rounded that to the nearest 100, I'd get £100. If I went into a shop and said, oh, I've rounded it down to £80, I'm only going to pay £80, I'm £3 short. They're not going to give it to me. But if I go with £100, then I've got change. So it's something to start thinking about. And I want you to think about that before we meet next session. Start thinking about when it's useful to use rounding and when could it end up making you get into a little bit of bother, a little bit of trouble. Let's have a think about it. But anyway, well done. You have worked really hard today. Okay, it's a tough skill getting to the rounding, but once you've got that concept, once you've got that place value grid and that special circle and arrow, it is really, really simple. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next session when we do part 3 on rounding. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon.